Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show. My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie.
And for anyone who is watching during the countdown video that we have, now if you're watching on YouTube, you don't see that, but there was a whistle sound effect, a train whistle sound effect that I added when we get to certain levels of the hype train.
Well, and if they happen after the intro, you will hear them on YouTube.
Yeah. But we got through all of that during
Damn.
the intro. As you can see, the screen is a little different. There should be over on this side, right there, there are new
Fred the Mailman.
graphics and alerts. So Fred the Mailman just subscribed for 31 months. I saw Miguel in Miami, Florida, I believe, gifted 5 subs. There we go.
Can you make it so that I can see the chat?
Oh, yeah, I could put the chat back on the screen. Let's do that, Carla Marie.
But I don't like that kind. I like when it's the big kind from Twitch.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah.
That's been my problem lately. One day
That's your one problem, huh?
One day you just changed the chat on me, and I just feel so disconnected from the people.
How's that? Are you good now?
Oh, just a little. Okay.
Okay. And then we got this over here. Let's move things around. Don't worry, we are going to jump into everything
Run the
momentarily.
train.
Oh, so now when people use emotes, they will be on the screen behind us on this scene, but not on this scene, not yet at least.
Okay.
So
What's going on with my head?
it takes a while. I mean, Carla Marie was there while I was tinkering with all of this stuff. I mean, just this screen took probably 4 hours to set up because I was adjusting all of the new alerts and the sound effects and moving things around and building out this new list that we have that should be a lot easier to read.
Do you think it's that it takes that long, or you're just not good at it?
Little of column A, little of column B.
No, it looks like is my favorite screen that we've ever had.
All right.
I love it.
Well, hopefully the other ones are good. So, we're not going to sit here and talk about Tinker and Tones. We talked about this on Twitch. I mentioned it on Instagram. Unfortunately, there's a 99.9% chance I tore my Achilles tendon on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in pretty good spirits about it now.
Yeah.
I was definitely in a bad place for the first 24 to 48 hours. I was, without a doubt, I was attending Sad Boy University, and I was the student body president.
Yeah, but you had it right.
I was in a really, really bad place. And Carla Marie is learning my tendencies more and more because I was such a depressed little sad puppy.
He got in trouble.
I did get in trouble briefly, but Carla Marie said something that was what you needed to say. You're like, I'm going to give you 1 or 2 days, and you're allowed to be sad, and then you've got to like bounce back. And that's all I needed. I needed 1 or 2 days to just pity myself a little bit, be sad about all the things that were going on. And it wasn't like a mean get over it. It was just like, listen, you can have these 2 days. So I'm in a much better place now.
Yes.
Than I was the first 2 days.
You are. It was
It must have been pretty rough for you.
I mean, I'm fine. I knew I was prepared.
But now I get to walk around on this guy, the I Walk Free 3.0.
CT 2000.
Which, instead of crutches, you kneel on.
So once you, oh no, you got to settle
on this part of it, and you walk around like a peg leg, which is the picture that I posted to Instagram yesterday.
So you heard it playing basketball Wednesday night, late.
Yes. So here's what happened. It was around what?
Sorry. Do you want to explain that whole story? Because there's people asking a lot of questions like, do you need surgery and all this stuff?
Well, let's just go in order.
Okay.
Let's just go in order. So on Wednesday night, we had finished the podcast. Everything was done. And I decided I was going to go play football or basketball one more time before going on my trip to South Carolina for my buddy's bachelor party. So I'm feeling fantastic. I get on the court, playing actually pretty well, feeling really, really good, like feeling extra bouncy. And for anyone who knows, who's played basketball, you have those days where you just feel like everything's working really well.
Yeah.
And the game was almost over. We were playing at 15. I think my team had 13 points at the time. I grabbed a rebound, jumped up, grabbed a rebound, came to the ground, and I was fine. When I turned around to go back up the court, I felt like someone kicked me in the back of the foot. Rolled on the ground, screamed in pain, rolled for a while, and everyone was around me like, "Are you okay, okay?" And I just kept saying, "No, I am not okay."
And didn't you say to them?
I said, "I think someone, like, accidentally hit the back of my foot." And this is where there's a little debate, because I thought I heard someone say, like, "my bad," or like, that was me, and like owning up to it. But then after I said, "I feel like someone hit the back of my foot," another person said, "No, it looks like you were by yourself. It looked like you were by yourself."
Oof.
And the second I heard that, that's the same thing that everybody says when they tear their Achilles. They always say, "It felt like someone kicked me in the back of the foot, but I was totally by myself." Across the board, every single person says that. So that is what happened to my brother Justin, one of our old bosses. It happened to him the same way.
Sorry,
And
could you mind doing the thing where we can pull the people on the screen?
yes, it might take a second to do that, but I'll work on it.
Well, what I think is you haven't really talked, like you've told a few friends, but I think now, like that you can publicly talk about it, you're going to have like this whole community of people that are like, "Oh, this is what I did." And this is, and it makes it so much better.
Even yesterday when I posted the picture, a lot of people assumed they knew the injury and they assumed it was an Achilles tendon tear. And a lot of people were explaining that they went through it too and what their recovery was like. So I've got to go through all the messages, because once I posted that picture, there was
a lot.
Let me just log in here.
Then we got to talk about the hate message you got.
I'm not even going to pay attention to that one.
Why? It's so fun.
Because it's not worth it.
People have been on some shit lately. Because then we can talk about the one I got.
How will this work?
Oh, should we take the shot?
Yes, we should.
While Anthony's fixing this. All I know is that Anthony went to the gym and came back pretty quickly.
About an hour later.
And it just something didn't see. I was upstairs and I hear the door close. I go, "Are you okay?" Because anytime he comes back from the gym quickly, it's either it was packed or he's injured himself. This is now the third or fourth time that you've come home with like an injury of some kind.
Two were my back and one was this.
So from my point of view, when he comes in, he's like limping. He's like, I think I tore my Achilles. And I'm like, "Sit down." Like, what? And then he already had an ice pack on. I tried, like, you got your sneaker off and like everything looked fine, right? Like nothing.
Well, I will say after I was rolling around on the ground for a while, two people helped me walk off the court. And while that was happening, another person didn't even tell me, just went out and was a really nice guy, grabbed a ice pack from the front desk.
Probably the guy that kicked you.
Brought it back for me. Could have been. But this is the funniest part of the evening, honestly, because there was a funny part. I was, limping out of the gym, and the same guy who grabbed the ice pack for me was holding the door open for me. And there was a girl who I have no idea, but may have been reasonably attractive, sitting at one of the pieces of equipment right outside of the basketball gym doors.
At LA Fitness.
At LA Fitness. And I'm not paying attention to anything, but the guy who got the ice pack for me and was holding the door said, "Hey, maybe that girl will help you walk to your car." I just laughed and kept going. But then as I walk out, he literally yells to the woman, and I say yell because she was at least 12 feet away, right? He's like, and he says something like, "Hey, he needs your assistance over there. He's a little injured." And I just put my head down and I just kept walking. I was like, I'm not gonna look at this. I'm not going to entertain this. I'm just going to keep walking.
If that was me, if I was that woman, I'd been like, "You help. What are you talking about?"
And Lenny quoted me saying maybe reasonably attractive, because I'm assuming she was attractive for him to say that, but I really have no idea what she looked like.
Okay, but what a lot of people don't realize is that you were expected to leave for a bachelor party 10 hours after this happened.
Yes. So I had a very, very good feeling that I had tore my Achilles, but I was also walking around. And after the initial pain,
walking,
I was limping around. But after the initial pain, it actually did not hurt that much.
You said it just felt stiff. Like, let's think about where's your foot? Make a foot. If like this is your Achilles is back here.
Yeah.
if this tears, obviously your bone is still attached, but for the most part, your leg is like unable to do your foot is unable to do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not squeamish, I suggest Googling. It's kind of disgusting.
So I came back, I iced, I took one of Carla Marie's like high dose ibuprofens.
From my kidney stones.
And then within, I don't know, an hour, I was actually feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
So
he was like, maybe it was just maybe someone just kicked me.
I thought maybe it was a high ankle sprain because I had done that. And Carla Marie and I said, you know what, let me go take a walk around the block.
Oh my God, I forgot about
So
this.
I literally walked around the entire block and I was feeling pretty good. So I finished packing for my trip, went to sleep.
I got you I ran to Fred Meyer. I got 3 different ankle braces.
So I finished packing for my trip, and I thought to myself, you know what? There's not a lot that I'm going to be able to do over the weekend anyway. And on this trip, we're going to have a golf cart. It's not like we're doing anything active. We're not going on hikes. It was going to be sitting in a golf cart and then sitting at a bar or sitting at the house. Mm-hmm. I could do that. So packed up, woke up the next morning, took a shower, got ready for the airport. And as we're driving down there, Carla Marie keeps asking me, are you sure you don't want to cancel your flight? Are you sure you don't want to cancel your flight? And I had already checked in. I told everyone I was going. I said, no, I can do this.
Listen, I wanted nothing more than to have a weekend of peace.
So I get to the airport. Now, keep in mind, I don't have the iWalk thing. I don't have this apparatus yet.
He's just dragging his leg.
Just limping.
As Anthony said, he looked like he was a crackhead.
I did. Just limping around. And I got to the airport, looked at the line. Now, keep in mind, I have got clear and I've got TSA pre-check, so it wasn't going to be that bad. But I looked at how far I had to walk to get there and all the people that were in my way. And that's when, like, the sense of, like, helplessness and depression kind of, like, crashed over me. And I went to one of the agents for Alaska Airlines. And you know how normally there's like the ticket agents and then there's the people that are roaming, helping people out. Yeah. So I went up to her and I said, listen, this is not an emergency, but I don't think I can get to my flight because I think I got to turn around and go to the hospital. And she was like, you know what, just call instead of waiting for one of these booths to open, just call. There shouldn't be a wait. Talk to Alaska. They were great. They put me on the next flight, like the next day.
What did the woman, Gail from Arizona?
Gail from Arizona. She was fantastic. She said, honey, pain is a warning. Go get it checked out. I'll put you on tomorrow's flight. If you're good, you can take tomorrow's flight. If not, you can cancel it, get your credits, not a problem. So I did all that. Needless to say, I didn't end up going. But that's when I realized, I was like, I don't even think mentally, like physically, I might be able to make it to that line, but it's going to be such a problem. And that's when I told myself, yeah, this is a big deal. Go home.
Yeah, so not only is he dealing with this injury, not entirely even sure what it is yet, but now you can't go to the bachelor party. Mm-hmm. And then you start seeing your friends post videos.
Yeah, which was fine.
I know, but like...
It was really... There were 2 things I was really looking forward to this month. One was my buddy Tommy's bachelor party because I was going to see all my friends. And the other was... the celebrity basketball game.
All right, you don't be saying all-star.
Well, the rest of them are all-stars.
Okay.
I'm not. Sydney Rice is playing.
Before you touch on that, Martha just said, can someone fill me in quick? I just got here.
Oh, I tore my Achilles.
Well,
playing basketball.
Now, to be fair, let's go back to the doctor's appointment because you tore your Achilles, but there's no...
Okay, so I am 99.9% sure, as is anyone who's talked to me and anyone who's seen me, that I tore my Achilles. I went to our chiropractor PT office, and because one person was able to give me like a 45-minute appointment, and with our American healthcare system, you need to like all these different referrals and appointments to get the referrals and appointments that you need to then get the MRIs and the surgeries and the appointments that you still need.
Right.
It's a mess. So,
and a lot of the people that we both separately talked to who tore their Achilles was like, don't go to the ER because they're just going to feel your leg for 10 minutes and you're going to have to pay this huge bill. They're not going to give you an MRI until it's closer to like a surgery day. Like, and then some people are like, no, go to the ER because then you'll get an MRI. It was like, it's crazy.
So I went to the chiropractor. He was able to test out a couple things and evaluate it and say, yeah, there's a 99.9% chance you tore your Achilles. Just don't know how bad it is yet.
Yeah.
So he was able to then write me a recommendation essentially for a referral to get an MRI. Because if I see a specialist, they're going to see an MRI so they can then figure out what kind of surgery I need and all that. The MRI place at the moment said my appointment will be June 26th, which, keep in mind, is still 2 weeks away. And that's because they have to give my insurance 10 business days to approve the MRI. And I can't make an appointment with a surgeon until I have a referral from my primary care doctor, because a referral from my chiropractor doesn't count. So now I have to go to my primary care tomorrow to get a referral to talk to a specialist who still might not be able to see me until I have the MRI. It's all these different puzzle pieces that I've got to get to fit perfectly with the right timing.
And it almost feels like it's like, honestly, when you go to college and you're trying to do your schedule for the semester, and it's like, nope, but you need this class to get into this class, but actually you can't get into that class unless you do 3 other things that you can't do unless you do this other thing that you're not sure if you can do. That's truly what it feels like.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be dealing with today, because obviously most of those offices are closed over the weekend.
So, but the number one thing he's going to do today is call insurance and see what they say, because you've already had one doctor deny you.
Yep, because they don't accept my insurance, which is what it is. It's fine. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to call my insurance to check the status of my approval. Thank you, B. Delps. I don't know why the feature chat's not working today. We're just not going to be able to put chats on the screen.
Okay.
Which is fine.
All right, before we talk about
cheers.
Champions of Change game.
Cheers to you, Carl Marie. Cheers to everyone who supported the stream this morning, because I know we got to level 7, I believe. We got through level 6.
This is the shooter of the week from Seattle Cocktail Club. Yep. It's called Yuzu Futures, and it's got yuzu liqueur, and you say the name of the tequila.
Herradura?
Yeah.
Blanco. Herradura Blanco? What is yuzu liqueur?
I guess we're about to find out.
Cool. Cheers. Cheers to everyone. Thank you. That's interesting. It's good. You definitely taste tequila. And I don't know what that other flavor is. Let's look it up real quick. We'll take a break from talking about
oh my God,
Andrew.
You guys. I feel like I haven't drank in so long.
Yuzu liqueur.
Ooh,
a
Japanese.
Citrus liqueur from Japan.
I just got the
from
citrus.
Japanese yuzu. Oh, yuzu's a fruit, I guess? Huh.
Yuzori is a citrus liqueur, Hancock.
All right.
Well, it says chase with a lime.
Well, we didn't do that.
We don't have limes.
All right, so back to the injury, which obviously is going to be a lot of what we talk about today. But
it's a type of lemon.
Oh, that's all it is? Okay. Yuzu lemon. Okay. So yeah, I'm at the moment I should say, I am working on figuring out all the different appointments I need. Someone had asked in the chat if surgery is always needed for an Achilles tendon tear. I don't know of a situation where it's not. I'm sure people can defer a surgery and just hope it gets better.
So I actually did. I tell you what, it is amazing. There are things that you don't know, and then the things that you can start researching and all of a sudden know about. There are people, and they've actually done studies on people that kind of went without surgery, and it would heal on its own, but you basically wouldn't be able to use it the same way.
Yeah, which I would love to be able to use my Achilles tendon the way I've been using it my whole life. And for anyone, there was a question about where the Achilles tendon is. It's behind your heel. It is your heel, basically. Yeah. So think about it going from the back of your ankle to the middle of your calf, essentially. You demonstrate?
Except this should be on only feet.
Well, don't show your feet.
Are you showing it?
So it goes from here to here, basically. And it's what helps your foot go like that.
Well, that's the thing. His foot, it is dangling a little bit, right?
It's not like a limp foot.
But not completely. So this is good.
Well, we'll see. Listen, if Carla Marie was telling me, because there are, it is stronger than it probably should be at the moment. And even the chiropractor who saw me was like, wow, you're actually walking pretty well if you did completely tear your Achilles.
I somehow also didn't tell Sam, and she texted me this morning and was like, what is happening?
I meant to tell her.
And William Sam's husband is a physical therapist, and he said William is very optimistic because Anthony's in such great shape.
So that was another thing. And this is one of the reasons, honestly, that you should worry about your physical conditioning and get some strength training in your life, because I already know, and this is one of the things, once I got out of the depressed, I'm injured and I can't move phase, I know that I probably have a chance of rebounding faster because I have put in so much work over the last 2 years since the pandemic and since all the gyms opened back up, than someone who didn't.
And what's crazy is, like, truly anyone can tear their Achilles doing anything.
Oh, yeah.
Your brother Justin was dancing.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to be doing anything active. Our friend Steph said that her mom was just walking around.
It's a freak thing, and the chiropractor and physical therapist that was checking me out originally on Thursday told me, he said, unfortunately, all the research that's come back, there's no indicator of someone who's about to tear their Achilles. They think that in some people there might be some thickening of the Achilles, but that's not even like thorough research. It's just a theory behind it. It could happen to anyone, whether you're a super flexible athlete or someone who's been a couch potato for the last 20 years.
Fred the Mailman, facts. I'm ahead of schedule on my bicep tendon because I was already in good shape.
Yeah. And the interesting thing with the human body is, let's say we're talking about Fred's bicep or my Achilles, or just the muscles in my left leg, which is the leg that I injured. If you work out the opposite side of your body, it seems weird because you feel like you're going to be completely out of balance, which you will no matter what. There are neurological pathways that, let's say you injure your left arm. If you work out your right arm and your left arm is immobile, it won't build muscle in your left arm, but it will keep the left arm from, what's the word?
Atrophy.
From atrophying like it would have if you did nothing.
Which is basically when you get a cast off and you just see like...
Yeah. So the human body is kind of crazy, and when you take care of it, it rebounds a little faster. So hopefully all of the work that I've been doing, especially because I was really working on lower body strength, hopefully that helps me in the long run, and I bounce back a little quicker.
And it is your left foot, so you can still drive.
It is my left foot. I drove back from the injury.
You haven't driven since, though.
No.
You can still drive. What else can you do? Unfortunately, can't ride a bike.
And the interesting thing is, like, I can shuffle around, right? I know I'm not supposed to be on my standing up too much. But for example, around the house, for the most part, I go from station to station and then I sit for a while. So I'm not really using the I walk around the house. But anytime I leave the house, I'll be using it. And that'll help. Plus, when I'm at the house, I've got a little servant now. It's pretty fun.
I said to him, don't be a hero. Just tell me when you need things. Like, I'm ready. I understand. I was like, I can't wait to see all the calories I burn doing this. Yeah. And there have been multiple occasions where I have said, do you need XYZ? He's like, no, I'm fine. I go as far away as I need to go. And he's like, actually, can you get me?
I do have to be better about thinking ahead, like when you're standing up or when you're going upstairs or things like that, or going downstairs, wherever I am. And I think it was Martha that asked how I handle stairs. So I just handle stairs very slowly. Interestingly enough, and I didn't realize I was doing this until Carla Marie called me out. So we have handrails on both sides of the stairs for the most part. I didn't realize I was doing this, but it actually feels way more comfortable. I put my left leg, which is the injured leg.
So the best
I put that up first.
So you normally, if you hurt of something, that's what you drag, right? You step with the good one up the step and then drag the other one.
It's been more comfortable and less painful for me to put my left leg up first.
Crazy.
And I think the reason that is because like the rest of my leg muscles are fine, right? Like my quad is fine. All the rest of it is fine. So I can use my left leg as the peg leg, and I push off of my right, because when I put my right leg up first, naturally, and maybe this will change over time as I try to protect my Achilles or after I have surgery or whatever, but naturally, my body wants to kick off with my left leg to push up the step, which is not what I'm supposed to do at all.
Right.
So I think that's why it's been easier for me to go up the stairs with my left leg first and then push off with my right.
Now it's got me thinking, like, do I always start steps? Always with the same foot. Now we're all going to start falling up the steps today.
You should check it out.
I
do know that I can use the iWalk to go upstairs. I'm not that comfortable with it yet.
But several people say you can use it to go on the stairs, go backwards when using it to go down.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm not super comfortable with the iWalk yet. I got it yesterday, and it takes a little getting used to, as I'd imagine any new apparatus does. You know, think about if you've ever been on crutches. Your first day on crutches, you're like real wobbly.
Yeah.
And by the time you're done, you're like a speed racer on crutches.
Sorry, there was a long message that came through from DYTKD, and I wanted to read it.
Go for it.
If you can go to a podiatrist/surgeon, even to pay out of pocket, you can get an ultrasound while you wait for the MRI to get approved. Have a plan with your surgeon once the MRI confirms the injury. If you're in a lot of pain, you can go to the ER with a 10 out of 10 pain, but you're not in pain.
So here's the interesting thing, and I might end up going to the ER.
Yeah.
I'm not in a...
This is not medical advice, by the way.
Yeah. I'm not in terror. I'm actually almost not in pain at all. Every now and then...
There's swelling and some bruising.
So this is the interesting thing. I'm not in pain at all. But if the bruising gets worse, which it did from day two to day 3, if it continues to get worse, I will go to the ER just to make sure there isn't anything else that needs to be addressed. And if the stiffness gets worse over time, because it shouldn't be getting worse considering I'm not doing anything. So in that case, even if there's not a terrible amount of pain, if I realize the swelling gets worse or the bruising gets worse, I might go to the ER just to double check.
Well, and tomorrow we go to Dr. A, your primary care, and I have said to Anthony, I will be coming in the room with you. And I'm not like trying to be a dick when I say this, but anyone in this situation, there's always questions you forget to ask.
Yeah.
And when he walked out of the room at the chiropractor, I said, did you ask this? No. Go ask him. Did you ask this? No. Go ask him. So it always, I don't care who you are.
And when I was at the chiropractor, I was also in my depressed phase, my depressed era.
I know. But
what Taylor Swift era is that?
That would
Speak
probably.
Now? Speechless?
Yeah, Speak Now.
I don't know, Speechless in era?
I don't know. So I will be
I just want to be in my 22 era. That's all I want to do.
No, you want to be in your reputation era.
That's after a surgery.
Okay.
That's after rehab.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm coming in the room.
Okay.
I'm stating it now.
All right.
I'm going to let Dr. A know. I'm barging in with the notepad.
Let's see. Angela said, also put a soft towel or something under your knee or lower leg. It will help keep your leg from getting sore. True.
But in what? Like laying down?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
What do you mean?
Laying down?
Yeah. I mean, I'm laying down for a long time, so.
But it's elevated.
Yeah, but like, if I'm just laying down like sleeping, I can put something under my.
And Jen said this about walking up the steps. This is a wild convo. I had the same thought last week, and I always step with my left foot first. It is random. I was going to ask this as a topic last week, and we're talking about it this week.
I probably always step with my left naturally.
I'm definitely right.
Because like I jump off of my left.
What?
Yeah, like if I'm playing basketball.
What do you mean? Show me things to do.
Yeah, show you.
Well, if I was going to do a triple jump.
Well, triple jump, you're doing both.
I can't. Here's
It's
the
not.
thing.
It's not triple jump. It's
I've
long
been
jump.
walking around like this lately. Like I can't get hurt. I'm at Orange Theory. Like don't push it because if you get hurt with this,
It doesn't matter whether you push it or not. Think about how you would long jump. Is really what it is. What foot would you plant when you long jump? She's actually. I hope she doesn't long jump.
My left.
Yeah.
I used to long jump.
And I bet you if you're a lefty, you probably plant with your right foot. And if you're a righty, you plant with your left foot.
I snowboard left first.
Yeah, same. So you would snowboard regular, not goofy. That's goofy. Are you falling without snowboarding?
It's normally how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the celebrity basketball game.
Hold on, there's something. So they were in the chat. They were actually asking what my snowboard stance was. So Lenny asked. Neon Climber also wanted to ask. So I'm a regular stance. I am not goofy.
The left down.
Oh, was Angela talking? Okay, Angela meant put a towel between your leg and the eye walk. As for laying down, put a pillow under your foot. So the eye walk at the moment has a pretty good amount of padding. I'm sure if I use this for 4 to 6 months, maybe it won't.
You know what my goal is?
What?
Get you an endorsement with the eye walk.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Make sure I wait till I get good at it. And I can play basketball on my eye walk.
There is a video of you.
Imagine.
Well, there are a lot of people that are saying, what if they let you just shoot a free throw?
Okay, so let's do 2 things real quick. One, I'm going to tell you my only concern and fear with the eye walk.
Okay.
Is, well, obviously I'm scared that I'll fall on it, but I feel like I'll get the hang of it after a couple days.
Penis getting stuck in something?
It also, you do have to have like the upper part of it. This part of it does have to be it's like up in your groin. Which if you're a guy, your groin also has some things that are hanging down.
I put like where it would be on my leg, and I was like, ooh, that is awfully obviously positioned for you.
But yeah, there's like some wiener concerns I have there. No, but my biggest concern is now that when you wear it, your injured ankle is dangling behind you.
Oh.
And I'm just so concerned that now that my foot is dangling behind me, someone's going to whack it. Like, just not on purpose, obviously, just walking by.
Yeah, but as our friends from Seattle Cocktail Club pointed out, how close are people getting to you?
I mean, pretty close.
People
are not aware of their surroundings
No,
anymore.
but that would mean that, like, you'd need to be at, like, a concert.
What if I was at Costco and someone's got their cart and they don't see my leg dangling? Bam, cart to the back of the leg.
You got to start wearing a very thick backpack.
Well, what I'm going to do, actually, is I have a pair.
Oh, we could put a flag on it.
I could put a flag. But I have a pair of Nike Dunks that have, like, neon pink bottoms. I'm going to wear those on my left foot, regardless of what I'm wearing on my right foot.
I would just go no shoe on that foot all the time.
No. I'm definitely going neon Dunks, and that way it's like a caution tape on the back of my foot. It's impossible to miss. It's very, very bright. So, neon Dunks on my left foot.
I think we're getting a caution flag. We're going to decorate it, especially because you're going to have it during your birthday. We got to put balloons on that. No, we don't like balloons.
I was thinking maybe in this part, in this little triangle over here, I could put like a little Pokemon stuffed animal and walk around with them.
No, we need a You Look Great flag.
Oh, that would be cool actually.
No, screw this. Unless they're paying for it.
Oh, that's cool. We actually could put a You Look Great, get something over here. It's fabric, so I don't know if it'll stick that well.
I'll sew it.
We could get a You Look Great patch. That'd be good. Or the morning show podcast, because people are going to look at it.
Yeah, with the QR code. They're
Yeah.
going to scan your ween.
It'll say the morning show podcast. Listen here.
Yeah.
Or something.
We should tell companies, would you like to pay for advertisement?
All right.
Oh, Gillywagon, firing up the vinyl cutter.
Oh, man. So.
Oh, wait, let me just show you. This is what, when he first put it on, he almost fell. You didn't almost fall, but you were like, I don't know how to use it.
It was a little wobbly. So, the other thing that everyone's been asking about, obviously because we were talking about it so much, was the Champions of Change celebrity charity basketball game. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, and this does make me very, very sad, unfortunately, I won't be able to play.
Yeah, that was literally the only thing you were concerned about when you got hurt.
Yeah, and it's weird because you go through these phases when you get injured. Even if, like this it was nothing I could have avoided unless I just didn't play the game, which, trust me, that ran through my mind 100 times. What if I just didn't play today? You know, what if I just took the night off? Because then I would have had, let's say, and no one knows why Achilles tears happen, but let's say my body was just tired and my Achilles needed a break or my legs needed a break. I wouldn't have played. Then I would have had 4 days off in South Carolina, not working out, not play basketball.
But you could have gotten hurt. Like, you could have got hurt playing in the game. You could have gotten hurt later and then missed your family trip that you're hoping you can still make. Like, there's a lot of things.
But I ran through that scenario a billion times, just wishing I didn't get on the court that day. And then I finally got to a point where I said, you know what? Who knows? I could have been swinging a golf club in South Carolina, and it could have happened. I could have been walking down the street or dancing at a club in South Carolina, and it could have happened. And you go through all of these emotions when you get injured. And then there was this weird level of embarrassment where I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I've been telling all of these people that I'm going to go to this game on June 23rd and I'm going to be playing. And I'm so excited. And I've been training for it. And now I've got to tell them that I can't be a part of it.
Yeah, this was
And that sucked. That was a really, really crappy feeling.
He was like, I'm embarrassed. I was like,
Yeah.
it's not like you're saying, sorry, guys, I'm going on a trip, but I can't go to the game. You got hurt.
Yeah.
Clearly, everyone knows you wanted to play in this game, and we're going to work around it.
Yeah.
I think what people are going to be most sad about is that you still have to take off your shirt.
At some point.
Because you said if you scored a point.
I said if I score a point in game action.
Now.
If you go back and listen to the podcast.
How did you say in-game action?
Because I didn't want to be, that maybe this was foreshadowing, I didn't want to be like the charity bucket.
Well, I think you might be. So, the people at Champions of Change were like, we are so sad to hear this. You're going to be incorporated some way in the game. Whether you're sitting on the bench, someone said, can you please be the water boy?
I'll do whatever.
So, Anthony will still be a part of the game. I will still be there. We'll still be there. So, if you bought a ticket, it's still going to be a freaking cool event. It still goes to charity. All of the money you paid for your ticket
and we'll be there.
Goes to charity. And we will be there. It'll be Anthony's birthday. It's going to be the best birthday party ever. You're at a basketball game.
And now, I mean, maybe we could all, like, I'm assuming they're selling drinks and stuff in the concessions. Maybe we can all meet up and grab a beer during the game or something.
I can meet up. You can do water.
We'll figure it out.
Claire said you did say you'd be the Make-A-Wish kid.
No, I said I felt like the Make-A-Wish kid, but I also, if you scroll up, Justin can confirm, I said I was against being the charity shot.
Oh, you did. Too bad.
So, listen, I'll still take it.
Imagine you got to be assistant coach with Sue Bird.
That'd be cool. I could hold her clipboard.
And she was like, Anthony, what do you think?
Hold her clipboard, do whatever.
And that's when you say, I don't know, Sue Bird. You're the fucking legend.
If she comes to me and says, Anthony, what do we do on this play? I'm going to say, we run the annexation of Puerto Rico from Little Giants. And she's going to say, that's a football movie.
No, you say total football.
I'm going to say, yeah, but we can still run the annexation of Puerto Rico. Yeah. Shout out Fred the Mailman. And your bachelorette party trip that you're going on with your niece.
But listen, I'm scared to plan anything in the future anymore. I have friends that are like, if this happened to Anthony, I'm not even going to walk anymore. I'm scared.
What do you mean?
Because if you got injured, everyone's like,
Oh, everyone can get injured, though.
I know, but everyone's like, I don't want to walk down steps. I don't want to go here.
Like Kevin Durant tore his Achilles. Yeah. It happens. It happens. They're also still announcing people for the Champions of Change game. They announced, and this was the annoying part.
He was yelling from this room. Are you kidding me?
This was the annoying part. Once I realized I was most likely not going to play in the Champions of Change celebrity charity basketball game, they announced this, like, local politician, I think he oversees the ports or something here in Seattle, and no offense to him. And I hope he surprises the hell out of me, and he's a phenomenal basketball player. But I thought to myself, now they're announcing all the people that I could actually play in basketball. But then, yesterday they announced Sidney Rice, who used to be a wide receiver for the Seahawks. He's probably way more athletic than me.
But what if they put everybody in, like, that guy who does the ports, you, at the same time?
I think that's what they'll probably do. Here's my theory. If I was a coach, right? If I was Sue Bird, if I was Marshawn Lynch, if I was any of those players, any of those coaches, because I think there's 2 on each team.
There's like a sign where it's like, all right, put in all the backups.
I would play all of the athletes, and obviously the basketball players first, because there's at least two basketball players that I know of. There's not Antoine Jameson.
No, there's a lot of WNBA players.
There's 2 NBA players that I know of, and 2 either college or WNBA players that I can think of, maybe 4.
So let's just
I'd put them in
2
first.
Basketball players. So let's say there's more than 2.
Let's say there's 6 people who have played collegiately or professionally basketball, man or woman. Okay, I'd put all of them in first. Then I'd put in the most athletic football players, and that would be my starting lineup.
It'd be fun watching football players play basketball against each other.
Then I would have I'd coordinate with the other coach and say, hey, we're going to put our non-athletes in all at the same time at the end of the first quarter, maybe. Okay. And what you do is you pay attention to that part of the game the hardest, right? You focus on which one of those non-professional or collegiate athletes are actually shining in that moment. Then you can put them in with some athletes if you need to.
I'd be honest, though. I think you on the iWalk, you still got a leg up, if you will, on the comedian and the Port of Seattle guy.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if we were like down in the post, I'm sure I could body him a
We're
little
gonna
bit.
practice though. We're gonna go to Costco and Anthony's gonna walk around.
I am. There's a Costco in Kirkland.
Issaquah.
Issaquah? It's going to be the first Costco
It is the first. It happened on June 9th.
that serves sushi platters.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to go there, get a whole sushi platter, and make that our dinner one day.
All right. Well, I don't know where we're gonna do that.
Yeah, like a large, not the
I think
party
we might go
platter, but
today.
like the large platter.
We're out of salt.
So we need Costco salt. That's fair.
It's $4 for a jug of salt.
So
Scotty said, "Oh my God, what if they put in that gardener guy?
Cisco?
I love him, Cisco."
I don't know if I would trust Cisco
So
on a basketball court, but I do love that man.
okay,
You're going to explain who Cisco is?
yes,
Okay.
Cisco, not the thong one, the gardener.
He spells it with a C.
Yeah, Cisco. He's like, I don't know, 85 years old, and he's like this local legend that is constantly on local TV here. So we have been on New Day Northwest several times where Cisco is there, and he's like a plant expert. But he's been doing this as a plant expert for like 50 years. When you see old shots of him, you're like,
Yeah.
damn, Cisco was like
Was he?
in the 70s, like showing up buff with his plants. Like,
Well, here's the thing. Cisco also has a radio show on one of the NPR stations or something here. He has like a Saturday morning show or a Sunday morning show where people call him and ask him plant questions.
well, remember we saw him, I was like, Cisco, I have questions about my succulents. He was
Yeah.
like, there's really nothing you can do wrong with succulents.
But he is essentially, think of like if there was a local version of Bob Ross who didn't paint, he just loved plants.
Yes. He's
That's who Cisco is.
truly, you could go to, I think he has a YouTube channel. You could go down a rabbit hole of this man's videos and just be smiling
Yeah.
ear to ear watching him. He also like drops some great knowledge.
And I've never seen him in a bad mood.
Put him on.
What do you mean?
Put him on the screen.
Oh, put him on the screen. I've never seen him in a bad mood. I've never seen him angry. He's never complaining about anything. He is just a kind. Here, you're not going to see anything for a second. Give me a moment here. I don't know why we're not on the screen right now, but there's Cisco. You got to do this quick because they can't see us either.
That's fine. Who the hell wants to see us?
That's good. Good point.
So that's him.
That's what we want to do? All of this? So you can say that's him?
But look how cute he is.
All right, let's go back to us real quick. Yeah, he is the nicest guy. I don't know how we started talking about Cisco. Oh, if he was in the celebrity basketball game, that would be great. Him, I would take on with the eye walk. I think I could play Cisco.
What if he brought a hoe?
A backhoe?
No, a hoe.
Just a hoe?
A backhoe is a truck, right?
A backhoe is attached to a truck.
All right, but a hoe is just.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think hoes are allowed on the court. Just me. Thank you, Nara. Says Anthony, hope your recovery goes smoothly.
Sure,
So-
we'll be seeing Nara to pick up some pain medication.
I mean, after the surgery, probably, yeah.
That was what we were talking about, and I kept thinking this too. How you're not in pain right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, there's like this pending doom of, well, I'm going to go through surgery and that's going to suck worse
Yeah.
than this.
I'm
like,
sure.
the fixing part is going to be the most painful part of this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Like Carla Marie said, because I'm not hurt right now. Or I am hurt. I'm not in pain right now. But at some point, they're going to have to slice my leg open and pull some things and stitch some things together and do all of that.
And shave your leg.
And shave my leg. That might be the longest part of the surgery. Just to make sure all of that's gone. It's Meg, not Megan. Thank you very much for the subscription with Prime. 26 months.
And listen, there's still a chance you get this MRI and you go to a doctor and they're like, actually, it's a muscle thing.
Well, and we briefly touched on this earlier. After I hurt myself, and I walked in because Carla Marie was doing a lot of research as to like before I saw the chiropractor, signs of an Achilles tendon tear, which again, it's in the back of your leg. I did that playing basketball on Wednesday night. And I walked in and I remember Carla Marie was like, well, if you test this and you test this, I said, Carla Marie, I knew it the second I fell down. This is a torn Achilles. And she said, well, you can't think like that. You have to be optimistic. And normally, I will take the optimistic approach, right? I will plan for the worst, but I will hope for the best. In this situation, what I didn't want to do to myself mentally was I didn't want to push back the realization and the acceptance of the injury, right? I didn't want to sit here for the next, let's say 10 days until I get an MRI and say, no, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. And then 10 days later, I've got to go through all those emotions again. What I am doing right now is I am living life with the understanding that I tore my Achilles tendon. If there's a 0.1% chance, if by a miracle of God or the charged moon crystals or Pikachu's powers, whatever it is, the MRI comes back and somehow it's not a torn Achilles, then I'll celebrate. But I don't want to push back the reality too much and go through the mental part of this, because anyone who's had a big injury, there's a mental part of it too.
It may also not be completely torn.
Who knows? Whatever it is, I want to know. I don't want to go through the mental,
which is what
the depression part of it again.
Great philosophers used to do. Was it's kind of like negative, but it's like just think the worst. And if you think the worst is going to happen when it doesn't happen, you're excited.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a fine line of being the sad little cloud.
Yes. And that's the thing. I'm not sad anymore. Like, I'm not happy that this happened.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to go through with this process as if it was a completely torn Achilles. And if it's anything else, I will celebrate when I find that out.
Well, a lot of people have been telling us about ruptured Achilles.
Yeah, there is a difference between tearing and rupturing.
And apparently, like, rolls up into your leg and it looks like a deflated balloon is in your leg. I don't see that.
It doesn't seem at the moment that that's what that is, but I can't confirm or deny.
Des says, oof, Achilles tear is rough. I'm working with one right now at the clinic, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
All I can say is go to PT.
Oh, absolutely.
And you will.
Yeah. So I've never had surgery before. We actually were talking about this as well. I've never had surgery before, but I did have an MCL tear and a break in my tibia where my ACL connects. I think that's the right bone, which put me out for a while. I was in a cast for months. And there was a pretty long physical therapy session or whatever, I don't know, prescription after that. And I don't think I missed a single day. No. Like, I will take physical therapy very seriously because I know how much it helped then. And I know that I don't want this to linger for a day longer than it has to. Mm-hmm. And if you take physical therapy seriously, that helps.
Yeah. I did physical therapy for after hand surgery. Mm-hmm. And it was...
Well, I got sweat under my boobies.
It was so frustrating because they would have me do exercises that my hand couldn't do.
Yeah.
But there were also times where I wanted to, like, vomit because they're working through all the scar tissue. And there's just something about it that made me queasy.
Yeah.
But...
It's not a good situation.
But you leave there and you're like, oh, I can actually move this or whatever. Like, I'm very curious to see what your PT is like.
Man, when I had my knee physical therapy, they had, like, the protractor. To figure out the angle that I can bend my knee to.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the worst
part I had that too.
Of every day. That was the absolute worst part of every physical therapy session because they were just going at it, pushing it down.
I did all my physical therapy. I bet you I didn't do a lot of the at home. They did send me home with like Play-Doh and stuff.
Wait, Des says it's called
goniometer.
Goniometer?
Gonio.
Gone or gone?
But all I know is that this arm is so weak.
The one you hurt?
We don't know if it was always weak before surgery because I wasn't really keeping that much track of my weight. And now I just feel like sometimes I can't do much with this hand. So I suggest doing all the things.
Vicky said PT is the worst. It hurts more than the injury and the surgery. Sometimes it does. But
I like that kind of pain, though.
Everyone across the board has said, even though PT is painful and it's tough, it is definitely worth it. Mm-hmm. So, and I already have a list when I go see whatever specialist I finally get to go see. I've got a list of lower body exercises that I'm going to ask him if I can do.
What if it's a woman?
Him or her. I'm going to ask them if I can do it. Because I'm already kind of planning out, okay, well, I can move my leg this way. Or, I don't really use this machine, but the one where the
good
clam.
Good girl, bad girl.
Yeah,
That's what I've called it since high school.
I feel like I can use that.
The leg spreader.
right? Like I can probably just sit down in a chair and
Okay.
spread my legs and push from my knees and my hips out.
Well, we're gonna find out after you go to the doctor.
And then there's a calf machine, a calf push down machine that I could use with one leg. I could do that. So,
is anyone else's prior injuries hurting right now?
what, just talking about
Yeah,
it?
because like my arm is so tight right now.
Martha said she calls it the yes no machine.
That's so funny.
Yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah, I call it the good girl, bad girl.
Okay.
Thanks to my friend's mom in high school.
Ariana from Denver said yes.
Yes.
Miranda said yes. In terms
their
of your
injuries.
questions, Wendy in Virginia.
Ashley in Jacksonville said, my 90-year-old grandma actually just graduated from PT today after a heart attack. I mean, things could be way worse.
Yeah.
So.
And I did also think of that. You know, I'd say when I was in my depressed boy phase, there were four things I was thinking about a lot. One.
And by the way, I don't like. That's great for your grandma that you graduated PT
Yeah.
and at 90 years old. That is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm saying to him, like, you're still healthy.
Exactly.
Yes.
But there were four things I was thinking about a lot. One was the realization, especially when I called Alaska Airlines to move the flight, even though they moved it to Friday, I was like, there's no chance I'm going on this trip anymore, which sucked because I do miss my friends and I would have loved that experience. But mainly it was the celebrity basketball game. Then it was this weird understanding that like Father Time is undefeated and I am getting older and injuries are going to be more likely
Yeah, but I also
down the road.
But anyone can injure them. Here's the thing about Anthony. He's like, I've never had surgery before, and I'm like, oh, you're in for a treat of anesthesia because I've had a bunch of it. So like, it's just yes, Father Time, but also I did read that most people that tear their Achilles tear it between 30 and 40 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
That's probably because you're still in a mindset that you can do all the things you did in your 20s, but your body is
Right.
aging.
but also much younger people also tear their Achilles. So like,
Of course. And then the fourth thing, right? So there was the bachelor party, age, the charity game. And then the fourth thing was I had been working basically since the pandemic, since all the gyms reopened during the pandemic. I'd been working so hard to get to this point. And I was like, damn it. Now I just have to sit here and all of the gains, quote unquote, that I made, I'm going to lose them. Now there's things I can still do. I'm going to be able to use machines for a lot of my upper body stuff. So I'm not carrying weights back and forth, which I'll still be able to like stay in decent shape, hopefully. But you know, you get to your 30s and you don't want to let yourself fall off too much because it's that much harder to get back to where you want to be.
yes, but at the same time, like,
Sweating my ass off through this shirt.
like, life isn't easy for anybody, and obviously this is nothing compared to what people go through. I'm not
Absolutely.
saying that. Like, I'm very aware that like this isn't like the well, it's me, whatever. Unless we're living on the street after you have to pay those hospital bills, we'll see.
Not looking forward to those.
But I remember like I was asked a question a few years ago that was like, what is something you overcame? And I was supposed to like write about it in a journal I was doing, and I was like, nothing. Like, I overcame nothing. There's nothing that I can be like, look what I did, look what I was doing, look what happened to me, and look, I had nothing. This was before we got let go, before I hurt my hand. And I was in the same position as you. I was like in the middle of this awesome workout program. I was, for the first time in my life, seeing like all this muscle gain. I didn't hate my body. All this stuff was happening. And then I broke my hand. And I was like, same thing, right? 2 days of like miserable. I go to a surgeon, like an orthopedic doctor. He's like, you need surgery. I can schedule you in 2 days. And I was like, what? And that's when I called you and you were laughing. You thought I was joking. And I was like, come pick me up now. And I went through that phase. And then a few days later, I was like, screw it. The second the doctor looks at it after surgery, that's it. I took your weight vest and I started doing all these workouts that I could do lower body. Then when I can get into plank position, I did plank. And then I was like, you know what? As silly as a broken hand is, I finally overcame something. I proved that when something is thrown at me, I can get through it. And how lucky am I that it took to get to 20 whatever years old, 30 years old, actually, almost 30, because I had it for my 30th, that I didn't have to overcome.
And the break wasn't just a break for you. You also needed surgery.
I needed surgery.
And most breaks
Still
you don't.
screws. All the
There is
time.
also a message here, Carla Marie, from Kate Parm, who said, my dad is 67 and recently had a tragic accident, lost his eye. One of his first questions post-surgery was when he can get back to the gym to work out. Kate, me and your dad, we're going to be best friends. But yeah, hopefully your dad is doing much better. I can't imagine. I mean, losing an eye, obviously, it trumps anything that we've talked about here.
He'll get through it, especially if that was his first question. He's on a mission.
It's a great mentality to have. Like, when can I just get back to normal things? And I think I get that from my mom. Both of my parents are pretty resilient. Obviously, they kind of had to be from where they came from.
Yeah.
But my mom is very much okay, you told me the bad news. Now what? Like, now what do I have to do to get through this portion of the bad part into what I used to live?
Kate Parm said, you really could be best friends with her dad. He's a retired FDNY firefighter and 9/11 first responder. His arms rival yours, Anthony.
You know, I'm sure he's much tougher than I am with those things, those credentials.
And like, I don't want to go down like this path, but like, that's what's crazy to me is that Kate's dad is a retired FDNY firefighter, 9/11 first responder, and then got into an accident how many years later and lost an eye.
Yeah.
Like, that's why, as cliche as it is, life can change in any instant, in any way, as simple as it is or as extreme as it is. So you have to live in the moment, be as grateful as you can be for every day, and just, again, I'll repeat it day after day, we're on a spinning rock heading towards a ball of flames. Just be kind and do good.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Everything can change very, very quickly. So I am going to try to get better at this thing today, at the eye walk. I'm going to make a bunch of appointments today. I know we didn't really talk about anything else other than my leg injury.
But Audi Swan said maybe this is like a blessing in disguise and that like now you'll be able to focus on something different for a bit. Like they said.
Yeah. Well, I have, and like I did this screen on Saturday, I think it was, Friday or Saturday, because we're working on something that we're going to be able to talk about hopefully soon. But Carla Marie had to handle a lot of that while I just sat on a computer and learned a bunch of new stuff with Twitch and with OBS.
Listen, I'm not trying to steal the light here or the
Oh no, Carla Marie would never, ever steal the limelight.
But man, I might write a book after this.
About what?
Being a caretaker.
You're gonna
Not
have
like a how-to book.
You're gonna have the easiest caretaker job of all time.
No, because you're gonna make it difficult.
How?
Because
you know what's great about Carla Marie? Let me explain something. Hold on, before you continue, Carla Marie. This is the best part about Carla Marie. Is Carla Marie will say things like, "Don't be an idiot. Don't do things on your own. I'm here to help you. I want to help. I want to make sure you don't hurt yourself again." And then immediately, the first time you ask her to do something, will say, "You better be taking me on a great trip after this, after all the help I give you for the next."
No. You know that's not how it was. I will tell you what I said.
Okay.
You said something like, "Thank you so much for all your help." I said, "Listen, I will help you with anything you need for the next few months. You need help with showering, whatever, I'll do it. I will handle all the cooking." And then I said, "But you have to take me on a good vacation after this." I think that's fair.
We'll see. Is the iWalk made by Apple? Thankfully, it is not.
I wish. And I wish you had to get an iPhone to make it work. But I did say, I'm pretty sure you can load the dishwasher. What are you doing?
No, I would love to.
But you couldn't without the iWalk.
No, the problem with our dishwasher, and I don't know how many people have setups like this because it's stupid.
So stupid. It's the dumbest part of this whole place.
The dishwasher opens up to the front of the sink. So if the sink,
like this.
if you're rinsing dishes even and putting things in the dishwasher, not even if you're rinsing it, if you're just trying to get them from the sink to the dishwasher, you've got to do it at this weird angle. And I don't know if I could balance at the moment doing that.
No, I don't need you to
Trust
do
me,
that.
I would love to do the dishes.
I've been trying to keep everything clean and clear because I don't need them falling on something that I left somewhere.
Fred said the tones went from the battery daddy to the battered daddy.
Okay, that's
pretty good. That's pretty good.
No.
How are you doing managing stairs? Like I said earlier, I just go slow, one at a time.
We try to make sure that there's no reason for you to go up and down the stairs.
Yeah, I don't do it too often.
Except this morning, when I heard you walking down the stairs, I said, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
Why did you have to go downstairs?
I got a whole morning routine. I get my athletic greens, which we'll talk about soon.
But
I get my water. I there's a lot.
Oh, we already said which cat is going to be the one to take him down.
Most likely Caroline.
Well, but I witnessed Erica walk in between his legs, which we've never seen her do ever. So I think she might be the one.
Yeah, but Caroline is the white cat is Caroline, if you're unaware, and she'll chase you down, not chase you down the stairs. She's your shadow.
Her I should have named her Shadow. I was thinking about it this morning. I watched you walk down the hall through the bathroom mirror, and then I just saw behind you.
And she's always like right behind you. The one that gets stepped on the most is Caroline.
Yep, that's fair.
Because she's always around. So, yeah. But stairs haven't really been a problem, honestly. Going upstairs is a lot easier than going downstairs, obviously. But anyone who's been injured knows that. I could.
Get a little slide.
But that'd be great if we had a slide. Should we get one of those things? Yeah, the little elevators. Mm-hmm. That'd be kind of fun. Sure. I do want at some point, maybe they have them at Costco. I want to rent, or we have to go to Walmart. I want to rent a rascal. I want to ride a rascal around a supermarket.
Okay.
Me and all the diabetics. Just riding around rascals.
My mom is diabetic and she's not riding around a rascal.
She could probably if she wanted to. No one would because your mom's a little older, no one would question her. If she just said, give me a rascal, they'd be like, all right, ma'am, here you go.
I don't know about that. But Megan said something that is actually true. At least Caroline doesn't walk diagonal down the stairs every morning. I swear my cat Taz is trying to kill me. She does.
Sometimes she does.
And they, imagine this, they all do it this way. I swear they do. Like right in front of me. And I'm like, dude. So even, it's funny. I notice it the most when I go to my parents. Because I'm like this. And I'm like, oh, I don't need to be doing that. That's when I notice it. But when people visit, I'm always like, be careful. A cat could take you out.
Scotty, last thing we're going to talk about, because this is a great question, because I actually thought about this yesterday. Do I get a handicap placard for, temporary purposes? I hope I do. And I don't know how to go about that. Do I have to talk? I'm sure I have to talk to a doctor or something and then talk to the DMV or whatever. I don't know how the process works here in Washington.
Scotty knows all the tricks.
And I'm never one, like even my mom has my mom has a handicap thing, like license plate, placard, whatever. Even when I'm driving her car, I will never take a handicap spot. I'm very against taking handicap spots if you don't need it, but I actually just need, it's not even about the walking from where I park to the door. That's the issue. Right now, the issue is getting into and out of the car with the iWalk, even though I'm holding it. Seattle has the thinnest parking spots in America. And trying to get in and out of a car holding that and putting it on next to the car, I can't imagine is going to be easy in regular parking spots, which is why I actually do hope that I can somehow apply for a temporary handicap spot.
Mandarin Rose said you get a doctor's note and apply with Washington, but like which part of Washington?
What do you mean which part?
Like with
Division of Motor Vehicles or whatever, licensing department, whatever that.
DOL.
Department of Licensing. There you go. I'm sure that's who does it.
But Scotty helped me get out of that red light, turn on red ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I need your help. I got a parking ticket this weekend because I forgot to pay the meter. I was late for Orange Theory and I ran inside.
Mandarin Rose did say Department of Licensing.
Okay.
DMV.
We don't have DMV here.
It's the same. They're the same thing. Oh, this is a good question for the community. Carla Marie?
Alicia from the 215. Does anyone know of a good place like Motley Zoo Animal Rescue, but in the Philly/New Jersey area? I'm interested in fostering now that my girl passed away. I don't think I'm ready to adopt again, but I could foster until I'm ready for that. I'm so sorry to hear about
Alicia, message me on Instagram, and I'll reach out to some of our radio friends in Philly who definitely know.
But there are definitely people in here.
Like Nick the Web Chick definitely knows. She knows everything about Philly.
Mm-hmm. So Nolly just said I'll DM you some places I follow.
There you go.
Awesome.
Perfect. This is why I love this community.
Martha would like you to write on the bottom of your shoe because you were concerned about people bumping into it. Back the fuck up.
I would, but I really like those sneakers. I think the fact that it's neon.
Yeah, but it's not like you're concerned about your sneakers.
I don't want to write on them. It's neon. It's fine. I'll make it work.
I used to, like, all through middle school, all I did was write in the bottom of my sneakers and shoes. I have a pair of Tims from middle school in the closet right now, and they still have things that I wrote on them.
What were you writing?
Like boys' names. It literally says I love CJ on them still.
That's funny. That was such a weird, and I don't like
Writing on our hands.
but girls would just write boys' names on everything.
I like writing. I love just writing. It was like therapeutic, so I would just write everything.
But it's a weird, like, why do only, like, do middle school boys do that now? Because no middle school boys did it when I was in middle school. We weren't just writing, like, Molly, Allison.
That's not true. Boys in my class would write girls' names on their hands.
On their hands?
Mm-hmm. With the heart around them.
That's weird.
We had the Milky pens.
The Milky pens were cool. Great for writing on hands.
Let's bring them back.
They have to be back. If those stupid butterfly clips are back, Milky pens are definitely back.
You don't shit on the butterfly clip.
They're the stupidest thing in the world.
Wait, is Scotty giving me tips on how to get out of a ticket? Oh, Scotty.
He can message you on Instagram.
Gillywagon. This is why girls are the best graffiti writers.
It makes sense. It does make sense.
Well, we could write Andy on the bottom of your shoe.
That'd be actually pretty funny. All right. It is time to get out of here. I've got to make a ton of phone calls with the American healthcare system, which I couldn't look forward to doing anything less than what I'm about to do. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hopefully, if you bought tickets for the celebrity basketball game, we'll still be able to meet up and see each other on June 23rd. Honestly, the only reason that wouldn't happen is if somehow my surgery gets scheduled for like that day.
I don't think doctors do surgeries on Fridays.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen that quickly. But either way, thank you for hanging out today. We'll have a normal show tomorrow. And remember, there is a new episode of the Morning Show podcast. You can listen to that anywhere you listen to podcasts.
We should auction off something where if you win, like you spend the most amount of money, you get to come to surgery day with me and witness Anthony come out of surgery. And that's how we'll pay for your surgery.
All right, we are out of here. Thank you for hanging. We will see you tomorrow.